You think you're driving, and most of the time you are. You feel the weight of the wheel, the resistance of the pedal, the slight pull when you drift too close to the lane edge. Every correction feels like yours. Every adjustment, every small decision to speed up or slow down registers as something you chose to do. But behind the dashboard, a protocol has been active since you left the driveway. It is not just watching the road ahead. It is weighing your life against the stranger on the sidewalk. And that calculation finished before you reach the end of your street. The morning starts the way it always does. You pull out of the garage, check the mirror, merge into traffic. The car responds the way you expect. Smooth acceleration, predictable braking, a gentle alert if someone drifts into your blind spot. Everything feels normal because the system is designed to feel normal. The corrections it makes are small enough that you interpret them as your own. A slight tightening of the steering, a minor adjustment to following distance. You feel in control because the feedback loop is built to preserve that feeling. But there is a second layer of processing that has nothing to do with comfort or convenience. While the car manages speed and spacing, a separate system is mapping everything around you, not just the lane markings and the car ahead. Every object within sensor range is being identified, classified, and tracked. A cyclist 2 lanes over, a pedestrian waiting at a crosswalk, a concrete divider on the right shoulder. Each one is assigned a category, a mass estimate, and a predicted trajectory. The car knows where they are, it knows where they are going, and it has already calculated what happens if your path and theirs intersect. This is where driving stops being mechanical and becomes something else. The system is not waiting for a collision to occur. It is continuously simulating outcomes that have not happened yet. Dozens of projected scenarios are cycling every second, each one modeling a slightly different version of the next few moments. Most of them resolve cleanly. The car stays in the lane, the pedestrian finishes crossing, the cyclist turns the corner. But in the models where the resolution is not clean, where contact becomes a statistical certainty, the system does not freeze. It selects. That selection is not random, and it is not instinct. It follows a priority structure embedded in the vehicle's software. A logic layer that assigns weighted values to every object the car has classified. The specifics of that weighting are not published. They exist inside a neural network trained on millions of driving scenarios. And the output of that network determines which direction the car moves, how hard it brakes, and what part of the vehicle absorbs the force. In the fraction of a second before impact, the car is not trying to avoid the crash. It has already accepted that the crash will happen. What it is doing is choosing the version of the crash that its model considers optimal. There is a camera cluster mounted behind the rearview mirror, 8 lenses feeding continuous data into the onboard computer housed behind the glove compartment, ultrasonic sensors along the bumpers, measuring distance at close range. Each input feeds into a system that builds a 3-dimensional model of the space around the car and updates it faster than the driver can process a single thought. The driver sees the road. The system sees probability fields. And this is where it shifts. While you're choosing which song to play next, or thinking about what to make for dinner, the car is simulating your death. It has already run the numbers on every tree, every pylon, and every concrete barrier you pass, calculating which one it would use to stop your momentum if it had to. It is not being pessimistic. It is being prepared. Consider a scenario. You are driving through a residential street at 35 miles per hour. A child runs into the road from between parked cars on your left. At the same moment, an oncoming vehicle enters the intersection from your right. The system detects both. It calculates stopping distance and determines that braking alone will not prevent contact with at least one object. It now has 3 options. Continue forward and strike the child. Swerve left into a parked car. Swerve right into the oncoming vehicle. Each option produces a projected outcome. Each outcome has a cost measured in estimated injury severity across all parties involved. The system selects the option with the lowest total cost. Not the lowest cost to you, the lowest total cost. In the cold logic of the system, the driver is not a person to be saved. You are simply one variable in a survival equation. And in some cases, according to the math, you are the cost. There is a reason these moments feel like glitches when they happen. In 2024, a driver in California reported that his car swerved violently toward a concrete barrier to avoid a piece of debris that was not there. To the driver, it was a terrifying malfunction. But to the system, it was a logical trade. The sensors detected a phantom risk to the left, and chose the known impact to the right. The driver survived with minor damage, but the realization stayed with him longer than the bruises. The car had made a decision about his safety, calculated the acceptable level of harm, and executed it. He was never consulted. He was never informed. He just felt the wheel move on its own and tried to understand what happened after it was already over. That distinction between what the driver experiences and what the system executes is not a flaw. It is the design. A human driver in the same scenario would act on reflex, protect yourself, protect your passengers, avoid the most visible threat. The system does not have reflexes. It has optimization targets, and those targets may not align with what the driver would choose if they had time to think. The car might swerve into the barrier to protect the child, increasing injury risk to the driver. It might brake partially and adjust angle to distribute force across multiple impact points. The decision it makes depends entirely on the values assigned inside the model. Values the driver did not set, cannot see, and is not able to change. There are over 5 million Teslas on roads worldwide. Each one carries this decision layer. Each one has already been loaded with the logic that governs what happens in the worst fraction of a second. The driver signs a purchase agreement, adjusts the mirrors, sets the seat position, and drives home inside a system that has already decided what it will do if a choice between lives becomes necessary. That decision was made by engineers in a building the driver has never visited, trained on data the driver has never seen, and encoded in software the driver cannot access. If that pattern sounds familiar, it should. The same structure exists in hospital triage algorithms that determine treatment priority, in lending systems that decide who qualifies for a loan, in content feeds that choose what information reaches you and what gets filtered out. The model is always the same. A system is given authority to decide. The rules it follows are written by a small group, and the people affected by those decisions never see the logic that governs them. If something about this is starting to shift how you see the systems around you, stay with that. This is what this channel is built for. Subscribing means the next layer reaches you directly. A thumb up pushes this past the filter that keeps most people from ever seeing it. And the comments are where patterns start to connect. So if you have seen something like this somewhere else in your life, leave it. Because what shows up there does not just sit there. It shapes what comes next. But this is not just about what you can see from the outside. What makes the Tesla version of this pattern different from the others is proximity. You are not interacting with the system through a screen or a form. You are sitting inside it. Your body is the variable. Your survival is the output. And the distance between you and the decision is the thickness of a dashboard panel. Right now, there are Teslas parked in driveways, charging overnight, downloading software updates in the dark. Each update may adjust the model, recalibrate the weights, shift the priority logic by a fraction of a percent. The driver will not receive a notification explaining what changed. They will wake up, get in the car, and drive the same route they always drive, trusting the same system they have always trusted. They will feel the weight of the wheel. They will feel the resistance of the pedal. And they will believe, like they always have, that they are the one driving. Somewhere ahead, there is an intersection. A moment where the physics resolve in a way the driver does not expect. The system has already seen it, already modeled it, already selected an outcome. The driver just hasn't been told which one. And when the moment finally arrives, it will not feel like a decision. It will feel like something that just happened. And you will go on believing it was your own reflex that saved you. Because the alternative, the idea that you were never the one in control, is too unsettling to sit with for long. Right now, there are 2 videos on your screen. Each one was selected because the system calculated that one of them would create the same quiet friction you felt at the beginning of this video, the same hesitation, the same small pause before the click. Pick one. I'll see you there.